Good morning. It is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And I am here to take a look at the energetic balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine aspects of self, understanding that whatever state we find these energies in, we can expect to see reflected back to us from the outside world. So I'm reading your personal energy, the polar opposites basically inside of yourself that war with one another to try to come into union when you're trying to manifest something. And you will be able to look around you and see, like, oh, this person is like that, or this person I'm thinking of specifically that I'm coming here to try to get information about is that, like, that's about this person. But it's really about your energy. So if you want to see changes in the environment around you, if you want to see changes in the people that you interact with, you really must make those changes inside of yourself in order to see that. Okay. All right, let us begin. Divine Feminine is going first today because she was showing more of her cards. Okay, we have some interesting energy I'm looking at. It's kind of all over the map here, so I have no idea what this is going to be like. I'm going to have to rewatch this. I think one of those type of readings. Okay, ready? Top of the deck for the Divine Feminine. Overall, forefront of the mind, the King of Wands. So, this is a Divine Feminine who feels or thinks, because she's thinking, but she is thinking of herself as a man of action. She's also thinking about the divine masculine, of course, taking action, communicating, etc. But she's really understanding that it is her energy that will reflect that specific manifestations energy back to her. So she's thinking about this. What does it look like to take action for myself? What does it look like to communicate swift truths to myself? What are my passions? How can I strategize my passions in the way that a king of wands does versus a knight of wands that has no strategy and is just throwing caution to the wind? The king of wands has a strategy, knows what he's doing, knows what is up. So she's like, okay, how can I embody this energy for myself? Because I want to attract this energy, so I want to embody this energy for myself. And she's thinking about how the action of this King of Wands that she's wanting to manifest in 3D is related to her own actions. She's also thinking about the fact that because we saw over the last couple of days, there was like an apology that came in, and there was just sort of an awareness that her expectations about how things should go had caused her to put a block up. And the block that she put up was really about how afraid she was to receive. So she really explored that the last couple of days. And now she's understanding a little bit more the truths that she was seeking from this divine masculine energy. She's starting to understand that it's about this is a big change that she's wanting to come, a massive communication, like information that will reveal deep truths about what has been happening between them while they've been in this separation, while they haven't been in communication. That requires strategy, time, and the pressure of the fulfillment of the communication. So this is all on divine feminine's mind. Really positive energy because she's trying to embody the energy that she wants to see and take action for herself in ways that she hasn't been. And she's also understanding the kind of responsibility that exists when divine masculine, this specific manifestation, approaches, that he has to approach and express this passion in such a way that he can sweep her off her feet, right? He doesn't want to come in and just this is not an ordinary thing, right? He wants this to be extraordinary. And so she's starting to understand the time that takes and the the maturity and the healing that has to take place for everything to really go in the way that divine masculine would like to do this for her. And the niggling feeling in the back of her mind is that the end of separation is really here. The illusion of separation between them it's falling away. And that's why she can think about this divine masculine taking some kind of action, because she really senses that this illusion that she is in separation inside of self is going to is that has fallen away is going to make this actual physical separation fall away here in the 3D. And so she's feeling good about this energy, but she's also feeling motivated to continue to be just as vigilant as she was before when she was trying to draw this in. And the first thing on her mind right now is the silence, because there is a silence. This is the Four of Swords. And she's praying as well. She's really in her own silence. She's experiencing silence from this physical manifestation of divine masculine. And she might actually be experiencing a bit of silence from the 5D manifestation as well. There's just this like pause, this moment where the two have kind of stepped off into the wings to collect themselves before they go out on stage. And she's not chafing at it, actually. She's embracing the silence. I don't see her chafing at it, especially with the next card. There's like a peace, like a serenity that comes here. It's sort of like they're taking a big deep breath before they take that leap into union. And then we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not seeing a lot of tension surrounding the silence for the divine feminine, because her fears and anxieties, the things that have kept her up at night, the thoughts that she's kind of allowed to bombard her and keep her from being where she needs to be, going where she needs to go, that's not really happening so much. We've got a divine feminine who's maybe sleeping like a baby sometimes, like just sort of like, all right, you know what? I don't have any control over these things. I'm just going to release these thoughts. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to, chill out in whatever way possible and just kind of relax into the silence. I have a sense that this divine feminine has an awareness that the silence that she's experiencing now and that she's experienced in the past with this divine masculine incarnation is something that she's embracing, that she's going to consistently experience. That this is not a situation where this divine masculine is going to like stop utilizing that hermit energy that is part of his character, personality. And that he is in some ways, while he can go on about some topics, is a man of few words in others. And so she's not allowing this silence to stir up her fears and anxieties anymore. She's embracing that this is who this divine masculine is in the 3D, and that it is not something she needs to really concern herself with. All she really needs to concern herself with is her own energy. So the silence, she's not worried about coming from this King of Swords, who of course has that icy aloof quality that the King of Swords has. She's interpreting as him being in his integrity at the moment and strategizing and planning. And she, in the same way that she is respecting the effort it takes to communicate with such big ideas and to plan for that and to strategize and to be able to take this really significant action that will match her where she's at in her energy, because this is her energy, right? So King of Swords, King of Wands, the specific manifestation that has to embody this, that takes work. And divine feminine is realizing that, and she's really releasing these fears about like when it happens and how it happens and timing and all that stuff that has really caused all of these back and forth issues between them. She's releasing this energy. She's trusting in that divine masculine energy right now. And then we have her in her Eight of Cups energy. And this is in regards to the silence. So we have her walking away from what doesn't serve her, but accepting a bit of disappointment in that, understanding that, like, she had to walk away from all 8 cups. And some of them were filled with, all of them were comfortable, first of all. They were all comfy, right? And some of them were filled with poison. And some of them were filled with pleasant things to drink that had success in them. And she's understanding that the king, the divine masculine, the king of swords, his silence is in regards to the process of going through this. He's walking away from these things. Sweet life. I'm realizing why I was doing the later reading, so I wasn't having to listen to the constant garbage truck noise. For some reason, they have garbage truck every day. I don't know why. Isn't it like a weekly thing or like a couple of days? Why is it every day? Anyway, okay. So this King of Swords has to walk away from some success, from some poison, and he's in the process of doing this, and so is she. And that's what this insight is necessary for. That's what this silence, this pause, this healing, this allowing aspects of self that aren't serving you to die, to pass away, and kind of being in a period of mourning for the things that you've had to leave behind. And she understands that this energy that she feels, because she's had to walk away from some things that don't serve her, and she's had to grieve for this, and she's in this state of mourning, then so is divine masculine. I wrote a song last year, and the first lyric is, "And if it's hard for me, then it's probably hard for you." And that's what divine feminine is realizing for this, in this situation that she's been in. We also have the Eight of Swords. We've got a lot of swords. We've got a lot of thinking going on in the headspace, which makes sense. And we have the Eight of Swords clarifying the Nine of Swords. So we have this awareness. Divine feminine has this awareness that it's her overthinking that really sabotages her, and understands also that as we reframe the energy of sabotage, it is a self-protective measure that we're relying on in order to prevent us from experiencing the unknown, which includes pleasure and fulfillment too, because we don't know what that's going to be like, and so we fear it. So divine feminine is understanding that she is needing to walk away from these Eight of Swords behaviors that have caused her these anxieties and worries, and to walk away from the consistently going into the self-protective mode, because it has blocked her happiness, and to head towards this higher calling, which is to be connected and to be devoted to the divine. She has to really end her tendency to protect herself from these fears that are unwarranted. And she's really, really acknowledging how her responsibility. She's like taking mental accountability for how she has blocked her own success in this way, and comes out victorious, because here's the Six of Wands clarifying the King of Swords. So she feels like the strategy that divine masculine incarnation, the physical manifestation, is implementing is successful. He's being victorious, and his strategy, it's working. And she's understanding that her own strategy in in regards to her ability to protect herself from these fears and anxieties, that she is, as she's walking away from these things that don't serve her towards her higher calling, she is also going to be victorious over this energy. She's no longer going to protect herself, for her heart, from this physical manifestation. She's going to be open to him. That's her headspace. Her heart space, top of the deck overall for the heart space, is the Page of Cups, which is a sweet energy to have as your overall heart space. It's true love, it's puppy love, it's like innocent, a very new love, a new feeling. And it's clarifying the position of the King of Wands. So she's feeling this just innocent, pure love. She's also feeling like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been doing this. I've been doing this. Like, I don't know anything about this. I'm starting out. This is my first time of ever being in a real healthy dynamic at all with myself, with a divine masculine. Starting out, I'm right at the beginning. That's how her heart feels. But it is pure and it is innocent and it is wholehearted. The niggling feeling in the back of her heart space, the bottom of the deck of her heart space, is the 10 of Wands upright, and it's clarifying the position of the 10 of Swords in reverse. So we see the end of separation here. We see the burden of communication that Divine Feminine has had. We see that she's putting down that burden with, in union with that 4 of Swords energy of just being willing to remain quiet and just listen and like tune in to what Divine Masculine is trying to say to her, do for her, and really appreciate every single gesture, every single communication, every single thing. She just wants to be in a state of appreciation and put down the burden of waiting for this communication and just allow it to come in and not have to try to force it anymore. She's not in chaser energy anymore. She's walked away from chasing, from trying to force the silence to break, from trying to be like, she's trying to literally manhandle this relationship, and she doesn't even want that. That's not even what she wants. She wants to have, a co-creator, not be this rigid emperor herself. So she's really working on putting down that burden and just letting things flow as they are meant to, when they are meant to, respectfully. And we have the 8 of Pentacles. So she's not going to be making an effort right now. This is clarifying the 4 of Swords. She is done making an effort. She is going to remain in this state of silence and just listen and be open to communication from Divine Masculine. This is not done in a salty way. It's not in any type of anger. It's really just sort of this peaceful thing. She's releasing the attachment to that material manifestation in this silence. She's just like, I'm just going to let him do his thing. I love him, whatever he's doing. So this is what he's doing right now. I love him. I appreciate him like this. It's fine. She's really doing a good job of just not focusing on the material aspects and focusing instead on the spiritual aspects. And she's not going to be the one that makes the effort in communication right now. She's dropping the burden. She's like, okay, I'm going to let it go. Like, I'm going to let this go. This is going to be happening when he's ready. So there's that feeling. The 8 of Pentacles, because she's releasing her attachment to the physical manifestation, she's also has the ability to go and work on her craft and start kind of, just focusing really on her work, which has been difficult for her. I also sense with that 8 of Pentacles in reverse that it's been a little bit hard for her to focus on her work at the moment. because of the situation that she's been in. And she's kind of giving herself a break. She's like, it's okay. You don't have to do all the things right now. You can just take a break. You can be in that silence. You can just reward yourself because you've done the work. You've done the work you needed to do with that 8 of Pentacles, and it's in its reversal now. You're not being the one that's making the effort. You're just going to enjoy. Right now, you're going to be a bit self-indulgent, and that's okay. You're rewarding yourself. You've earned it, and it's here in its abundance. Oh, my husky. Yeah, I haven't heard back. I need to message them back about it. Actually, no. I need to not communicate. Anyway, she needs to focus on the things that make her feel good and really just appreciate herself. There was a sense that she felt not appreciated before. And now she's realizing that as she looks back at everything that's happened and she appreciates it all, that she's actually been being appreciated all this while. And it was herself that she wasn't appreciating. So she was seeking that validation outside of herself, then not able to really see it because she wasn't feeling worthy of it and she wasn't giving it to herself. So it is time now to step into a mode of joy and appreciation for her divine masculine, for herself, for all that she has, for her abundance, for the ability to work on the dreams that she has, etc. The 6 of Cups, which is a card of reunion. It's also a card about the past, but it's not in the way that the 5 of Cups is about past, the sadness that has happened, or the spilled cups. It's 6 full cups. It's basking in memories and good feelings. It's creating future memories in that dream space, in that 4 of Cups energy, where you're kind of escaping and creating these future memories of what you want, and there's happiness. There's a balance of, contrast. You're feeling all the memories. It's not just happy memories, but you're able to bask in it. You're able to reflect upon all that's happened and feel like even the things that weren't so great still feel good. Like there's definitely that half and half aspect to this card where it's like you embrace the contrast, and that's what's clarifying this King of Swords. So your reward, your self-indulgence, you're allowing yourself to just kind of bask in the work that you've done and really receive your abundance. This is what your heart is telling you will allow you to reconnect with this masculine energy, to be able to come into this reunion. So you're doing all the right things, babes. What happens when you walk away from something that doesn't serve you towards a higher calling? The Ace of Cups. It's back again. It didn't leave her heart space. It's here and it's today. It's even more profound because it's like doing this, walking away from this self-protective behavior that wasn't serving you, where you were blocking the very thing that you wanted by your fears and doubts and anxieties about it. That's a thing of the past. Instead, you are understanding that there is a divine source of love, appreciation, joy, happiness, spiritual fulfillment that no one, no physical thing can take from you ever in any place in your life. You really feel the energy that you have been able to fill this cup. It is overflowing. You are ready to share it. And it's because you have walked away from this disappointment and grief. You've turned away. You've stopped looking at the grief, the disappointment, the silence as something that is negative, and you've started to embrace that there are positive aspects to what is happening, and just to really surrender and trust that the love that you feel is reciprocated. It is reciprocated, it is shared, and that reunion is imminent, if not already being experienced by some of us in the collective. The 8 of Swords, the protection, the self-sabotage, this protecting yourself from these fears and anxieties. Oh my God. Your heart is clarifying with the 9 of Cups. So you have here your wish fulfillment. When we see the 9 of Cups upright or in its reversal, it does mean that your wishes are going to be fulfilled in regards to this matter in a really positive way. So even though you've been protecting yourself from these fears and anxieties in your headspace, your heart is assuring you you're going to get your wish. You're going to get this reward. And if you weren't sure, you've got 9, 9, 9, 8, 9, 9, 9. So 3 9s, which feels very significant, and 2 10s. So we really are coming to the end of this separation. Your heart is fully aware. And this victory, here's the 7 of Cups. We've got 7, we've 6, 7, 8, 9. Lots of emotion, Divine Feminine, but you're not overwhelmed. You are not overwhelmed. You're not confused about the victory either. You have a full understanding that the victory is a shared victory because it is one where you are victorious over these sabotaging habits. You have wished that you would stop protecting yourself from love, that you would be open to receiving, that you wouldn't be afraid that you were going to lose it, that someone was going to be able to take it from you, that even that God could take it from you through death, like that's like that real fear. You're no longer being overwhelmed by those feelings. You're also not overwhelmed by the divine masculine's feelings anymore. Finally, you're feeling like you can handle it, like you're victorious over him expressing his emotions, which you were demanding he do. But then when he was doing it through his actions, you were terrified of his emotions. So you're no longer confused about it. You're no longer overwhelmed, and you really are becoming victorious in your heart space. Not too shabby. All right, Divine Masculine, you hit all your cards for me, so I have no idea what I'm about to see. Okay. I see union. I see union. Alrighty. Let's get started. Divine Masculine, top of the deck. Overall headspace, forefront of the mind. The Tower in reverse. So, you are feeling like the effects of the Tower moments that have happened between the two of you are finally passing away. And you are understanding that it is time now to rebuild the Tower. And you, based on the niggling feeling in the back of your mind, or the niggling thoughts in the back of your mind, you understand that the rebuilding of this tower is dependent upon the Ace of Cups. Here's the Ace of Cups upright for Divine Feminine, and yours is not upright. In the back of your mind, your understanding is that this tower, the ability to rebuild the tower, is really dependent upon your ability to maintain a feeling of self-love, to not be tempted to try to fill your cup up through Divine Feminines, and also to be pouring into hers and forgetting about yourself as well. So you are really aware. This is really overall in your mind. You want to rebuild this connection. You are resisting a little bit the release, the full release that is required from the Tower energy. And you're a little afraid. You've got fear that you don't know if you're going to be good at this. You don't know if you can really do this, but you do really want to. This is just about your fear right now about it. But you also feel like the towers that have happened between you, their effects are you were worried that it was going to block you forever, but you're realizing that that's not the case, that these things kind of can't block this type of a love. Like it's not going anywhere, and you're starting to trust that, but you're just afraid. You're not quite afraid. Or I mean, you're not quite afraid. You're not quite certain about exactly whether or not you're going to be capable of this. The first thing on your mind is the Four of Wands upright. So this is definitely where you want to be. This is what you want to bring. This is the sacred union. This is marriage. It's stability. It's everything in this image is about, it's able to balance. This is also 1111 because we've got those two sets of wands. We've got a pyramid here, completely stable. We have a divine feminine with incredible core strength, the ability to balance on the tip of one toe. We have the four wands that represent the structure that fours embody, which is that stability. And this is the first thing on your mind. You want to bring this energy to this union, to the divine feminine. And this is the Three of Cups. It's time to party. There was the song Party from U2 today. Wait, what was that song called? Party Girl. So yeah, you've got a feeling of like because Four of Wands is also celebratory too. So these are the two celebration cards in the deck. So you're feeling the excitement about this, and you want to be celebrating this union. That Tower being in its reverse, this is kind of a feeling of there, you can't rebuild it though. Like you can't, there's really nothing you can do to rebuild this tower. You just, you have to wait. You have to wait to have that cup filled from the divine. It's like the divine is intervening here to bring this celebration, to bring this union. And this is also about being playful, having a good time. Like you, not only do you want to bring this in, but you really want to show divine feminine like a good time. Like it's been a dark time between the two of you in this separation. And in the general, like this the general atmosphere, like, you know, we can't really party right now. It's difficult to be in Three of Cups energy. Like you can't be this close to anyone. Like what do you mean? Like I've been watching Vanderpump Rules and just seeing them at all these events and being like, oh my God, remember when you could like walk into a hotel and no one had masks on and there were lots of people, and then you would see the people that you were going to see and you would hug all of them without thinking about it, you know, just will that ever come back? So you want to be able to be light, you want to be able to be playful, you want to bring the light into this union that has been in darkness, not only because it's been hidden and you want to reveal it, which is something that's true, but you also just really want to be more lighthearted and like take things a little less seriously, because that is actually something that you really love about this divine feminine, is that she has this ability to be incredibly playful with you. And then we have another mirror. We have the Seven of Cups upright, whereas we have the Seven of Cups in its reversal for the divine feminine. But your card has this divine masculine that's like prostrate at the mercy of these emotions, which is something that you definitely feel. Really, really at the mercy of all of these different possibilities that you have. And this one, of course, this union being the most important thing, but you don't know quite how to go about this. There's all these different options, these possibilities, these potentials, and you're just a little bit confused about how exactly you should go about it, especially because you have this sense that like everything you do kind of gets thwarted, or like, you know, you think that one of these things, you're like, oh, I'm going to choose this cup and I'll go with this. And then you do that, and divine feminine is like, ew. And you're like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? Just show me, please. Just please show me which thing I should do, because I want to bring in this celebration. I want to bring this union, but I don't know exactly how to do this. And so you're confused about how to go forward. And because of that, you are staying silent and not speaking. This is Four of Swords energy. So you're in union here with Divine Feminine in this quiet right now. And you're doing that because you are countering this feeling of confusion and overwhelmment by just being quiet, remaining silent. And also fours. We've got 4-4 here because have the Four of Wands being clarified by the Four of Swords. So you're praying, this is not a divine masculine who prayed a lot in his life. This is a newer thing for him. And he's also like kind of laughing at himself. I'm feeling like a just sort of like, I can't believe like this is what I do now. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I pray, like that's who I am, but that is who he is. And he's kind of just going within. He's being quiet. He's not speaking to Divine Feminine, but it is not in the way that we have seen this in the past. In the past, when we have seen this card or we have seen this energy between the two of them, it has been one that has been about fear, being quiet because he's afraid. He's not being quiet because he's afraid or withholding. He's not withholding, actually, at all. He's being quiet because he's not sure what to do next. He's thinking very much, probably overthinking about the actual practical aspects of this celebration, how he's going to plan it, how he's going to deal with it in this current like time frame that we're in, and all these crazy things that are going on. The things that he wants to do have been thwarted by these like real world situations that have caused all this stuff to happen. Like I was going to do this and then this happened. I was going to do this and then this happened. Now we're in quarantine. Now this, now that, right? So he's just like, okay, I'm just going to pray about it, and I'm going to wait until I get sort of an inspiration to help me get out of this energy where I'm not quite sure about how to go forward. And then we have this 10 of Cups in reverse. So his spiritual fulfillment. Here's a little bit of shadow in the headspace. The 3 of Cups. So he's still battling fear about not being able to achieve his 10 of Cups, like losing his Divine Feminine. This is Divine Masculine who has rejection and abandonment issues. So he's really fearing that he could lose the Divine Feminine to a third party. He could also be fearing that a third party is blocking his ability to achieve this. And this is what he's confused about, not really being sure exactly how to go forward, because this third party has been interfering, influencing. There could be an element of that. But I also think there's just the plain old slight delay aspect of that card. It's like not necessarily any of those things that I just said. If that resonated, fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it could also just be like, my spiritual fulfillment is about to be here. We saw it over on Divine Feminine side. 9, 9, 9, 10, 10. Like, come on, we're getting there. We're getting to this point now where we're going to be in this physical union. So it could just be there's a slight delay in my ability to be able to party with my Divine Feminine. And here we have our Queen of Pentacles. She's here still. She's still in her reversal. And this is what he is confused about, right? This is who he's at the mercy of. This is who he's not sure how to please. He's afraid he doesn't know how to please this Queen of Pentacles. She's very demanding. The Queen of Pentacles is that foundational energy that builds towards the Empress energy. So we have a very demanding queen here, and we have a Divine Masculine who's really confused about how exactly to please her, how exactly to come forward. And I think Divine Feminine, finding out that information, feels a bit bad, because she doesn't mean to be that way. But there is this aspect here where Divine Masculine is like, I got no clue how to please her. I don't know exactly what her 10 of Cups for her constitutes, I think. So I just need this perspective, and I'm praying that I will receive that insight so that I can understand exactly how to fulfill. And I'm having deja vu right now, like really strongly, like as if I dreamed this reading before. But how to fulfill this Queen of Pentacles desires and wishes. And he's kind of praying for insight so that he can shift that energy into its upright. He's also concerned about her overprotective, over nurturing tendencies. And this is, of course, his own energy. He's concerned that he might be being a little bit over mothering, over protecting, because he does that too. He can be very over nurturing. So that's on his mind. All right, let's look at his heart. The top of the deck for the heart space is the 6 of Cups. So we have here the same energy that Divine Feminine has, her 6 of Cups energy. Now, interestingly, in this card, we see this one individual here, and then we see the 2 individuals here. So we kind of get this sense that this person might be thinking about the past. They might, I mean, they could be just seeing these actual birds here, but there's more of a sense in this card that you're reflecting on the past, or you're reflecting on your past relationships. Well, in the vice versa deck, we have this image of this masculine energy standing here on this balcony looking at these 6 cups. From his little tower here in this cityscape, he's seeing, this is like the only nature he can see, and it's this, all of these memories and future memories that he's put into these cups that he's looking at. And if we look at the other side, we can see that he's actually seeing these 2 individuals here. So it's like in his memory, maybe he's thinking about when he was younger, when he first met the Divine Feminine, like that's the storyline of this card or something, or like he's remembering when times weren't dark, when things were light, when they were filled with light, when they were happy, when they were good. And he wants to reunite with her and be in this energy again. He's feeling very alone and isolated, just gazing out at these memories and wanting to create this future with her, but being here kind of trapped on this balcony, just like looking down through all that has happened towards this relationship that he really wants to bring in and for a reunion. The niggling feeling is the 4 of Pentacles upright. So we've got, for Divine Feminine, we had all the 9s. And Divine Masculine is we're kind of getting all the 4s here. And so we see him really coming from a place where he has built a foundation and he's concerned about having a foundation. Now, yesterday we saw him wanting to release his attachment to what others are thinking about him, to the views of the external world. He wants to turn his back on anything, any attachments in that way. So today, I think what we're seeing instead is, see the flame here? It's really about feeling confident about the foundation that they have, that 4 of Wands upright, confident about the relationship foundation, confident about the financial foundation, perhaps, or like stability, mental stability. There's definitely like a stable thing here. And an attachment to his twin flame. There's also that kind of thing happening where his niggling feeling is he has this eternal fire that burns for this specific incarnation, because this is one specific material world attachment that he has. So that's the niggling feeling. Okay, you can, I don't know why you won't stand up now, card. Damn it. Okay, there we go. The first thing in his heart space is a match. Can you believe the union in this reading? Because it's a little startling, actually. I think it demands a reel, an Instagram reel. King of Swords. This King of Swords in divine masculine's heart space, we see him with his back to us. This is what he looks like, and vice versa when we're looking straight at him. He's got that sword planted firmly in the ground. He's not going anywhere, right? He's fixed. He has his idea, the way he thinks things should go, and he's going to strategize and follow through on that. And he's pretty icy and aloof. He's not really saying much to you at all. In this incarnation of the King of Swords, we see somebody with this fierce position and stance. We still see that sword squarely planted in the ground, and we see him facing off this lightning strike. It's almost and like he's looking at that tower coming down, right? The tower being struck by lightning there. It's like he's watching that happen, understanding the role he's played in this event. And so we have him inside reflecting on how this aloofness that he has had to maintain in order to strategize, in order to do the things he wants to do, to be able to prove to Divine Feminine that he's going to give her the world. He's understanding that he needs to turn his back now on the aspects of this card that embody this almost like indifference, like kind of watching the tower fall and appearing indifferent, even though he's really not. Like he really is very painfully moved by seeing the Divine Feminine go through these tower moments, but he has to pretend he's not. And he's really trying to turn his back now on the silence that comes from this card and be able to start communicating in his truth. But he's had to stand his ground because he has been building the foundation for this Four of Wands. He saw lightning at some point that showed him what he needed to do. And he stoically maintained this silence so that he could safely come towards this Divine Feminine and bring her the union that she craved and the union that he craved. And he's had to face off all these challenges. And it's time to turn his back on this energy, but he's explaining to her, this is why. I have protected this union from danger. I have protected us from an even worse fate if I hadn't done this. So he's got this heart space understanding of the energy, which is why he's able to release it now and come out of it. And then we have our Lady Justice. She has not left for a minute. And we're seeing the back of her throne, where we can see the scales of justice have been thrown to the ground. And the sword of truth is embedded in the stone. And there's a butterfly of transformation there. And we're looking out at the cosmos. So this is what, now justice is blind. She cannot see. She relies on the sword of truth and the scales to help her feel. She has inner clarity to be able to see where justice is needed. On this side, it's like justice has been, her tools have been thrown to the side, like they're not in use right now. And it's clarifying this Three of Cups energy. So there is something to do with third party here, but there's like apologies that have to be rendered, justice that still needs to be done, a verdict that must be rendered, that something that's out of the control of the Divine Masculine, because these tools are not in the hands of justice. They've been taken from her and they're cast aside. So it's like he doesn't have control over the justice in regards to this third party energy, or he didn't have control over it. Maybe he does now, but he didn't. And so that something about that is what has caused the confusion that happened between them. But here it is. Here's the Two of Cups. And for once, for this Divine Masculine, we are not seeing it in the dark. It is in the light. And so I guess what we're seeing is he has had to keep this hidden because of this, and it was unfair. It was not fair, but it was something that was out of his hands. And he wants to be able to apologize to this divine feminine. He wants to come and break bread with her. That 2 of Cups, those 2 cups, we have 2 aces here in the reading. He wants to come and share these 2 cups and pour out everything that has happened and reveal what has been hidden. The silence is part of the strategy. We have the 7 of Swords here upright, but it is not about deceit. It is not about, it doesn't have any of its shadow side in it. Instead, I'm seeing the light that comes from this card, and that he has to be silent. He has to honor this because of he's being strategic. He is made a plan and he is following through with it. And he has had to stay hidden, and it has been unfair, but part of that has been out of his hands. And his ability to reveal this connection or not, or his inability to reveal this connection, has been out of his hands. And he's had to implement this strategy. And his Queen of Cups, she right now has her back to him, or he feels in his heart space that she is blocked to him, and there is that 10 of Cups that's in reverse. For as long as divine feminine doesn't reveal her feelings, it keeps them hidden from him. This is what blocks him from his spiritual fulfillment. When he allows the divine feminine in himself to reveal herself, look at that. Both of these cards, when you put them in their upright position or reverse them into their front facing position, we see the divine feminine. So divine masculine must allow the divine feminine in himself that he has blocked to be integrated. It's so interesting to see this. And it's interesting because the party, like the 3 of Cups thing, from the U2 song, the lyrics are, I know a girl called Party. I know she wants more than a party, but she won't tell me her name. I don't know. There's definitely something about this. It's like divine feminine has blocked him. And that is what kept the spiritual fulfillment from happening. But he's understanding that it was him keeping that divine feminine, being afraid of experiencing these emotions himself. Look how afraid he is. He's prostrate before them. This is how all these emotions make him feel. Incredibly overwhelmed. Like he can't handle it. He doesn't know what to do with all these cups. So he wants to embody the light traits and have command of these emotions, be comfortable in this watery world with this divine feminine so that he can really integrate and have this reunion. And so this is what he's seeking victory over. And we're getting 6 of Wands, which is in headspace and heart space, and union with divine feminine, and it is in regards to his Queen of Pentacles. He is going to be victorious. And look, we saw his victory the other day, and it was a solo victory. And now what do we see? A shared victory with his Queen of Pentacles. He wants to be victorious. He wants to figure out exactly how to approach this queen and have this reunion and be victorious. Okay, wow, that was a lot. Let's look at the oracles. Now, divine feminine, for some reason, you got 4 archetypes today. Everything else was pretty normal. And divine masculine got a normal amount of cards. So you needed a little more help, which is funny because you're doing really well. But maybe you're embodying a lot of energy right now. So top of the deck, no. First oracle from the archetype deck we have is thief energy. So we're in the light traits of the thief, which means there's a light shed on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. And we already saw that here. You have this confidence that no one can steal this cup from you anymore. You've walked away from any kind of disappointment in regards to this cup. You understand that you fill your own cup, and you are certain, because you know that now, that there's this fear of someone stealing it from you. That's not going to happen. You're in the light attributes of the mother, which is nurturance, patience, unconditional love, and a joy in giving birth to life. And I felt that so strongly from your reading, that you're in this place where you want to be in joy and appreciation, nurturing, patient, really comfortable with the silence, understanding divine masculine is doing his thing and you're not worried about it. Just patient and nurturing and in unconditional love. You're also in the light attributes of the mystic, which is reveling in intimate union with the divine. So that is again another assertion that this energy that you're receiving from this Ace of Cups, this divine intimate connection, is making you feel fulfilled spiritually, and you're not needing divine masculine physical manifestation to make you feel fulfilled. Your spiritual fulfillment is not coming from a specific person, it's coming from self and from the source. You are also in the light attributes of the vampire, which makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. So you have recently come to the realization that something you were doing or someone in your life was draining your energy, draining your life force, and you shifted how you related to this energy, and you've changed how you've interacted with it. You might have kept it out of your life if it was a person, if it's a behavior, but whatever it was, you realized that it was draining you and you took steps to change it. And you're no longer depleting others for your psychic survival or chronic complaining or in issues of codependency. Right now, your guardian is the Holy Spirit. And this is a card of peaceful. And like I said, I felt that peace in your reading. Like I feel that you're in a peaceful place. And then we're getting, it is not about controlling my thoughts. It is about guiding them. So we are not encouraging you to make an effort to control your thoughts, but instead to more or less guide your thoughts. Reaching for the way you would like to feel is an easier way to hold your thoughts in vibrational alignment with that which you believe is good. So, you cannot control your thoughts and you shouldn't try to. When you get a thought, let it happen, and then reach for one that makes you feel better. If the thought that you have isn't great, that's okay. Fine. Don't try to stop it. Just let it happen. And then after you kind of let it happen for a minute, reach for something that feels better. It's much easier to get out of a set point by reaching for something that feels better than it is to try to restrict something. I'm studying intuitive eating as I'm working with a client, and I realized that restriction of anything, whether that's a food or trying to restrict your thoughts about a person, we are programmed when something is restricted to immediately try to replace that thing, and we will think constantly about that thing that is being restricted, which ironically makes us crave more of it, makes us want more of it than if we just allowed ourselves to have it. When I was receiving treatment for non-purging bulimia, which is like binging but fasting afterwards, I went to a nutritionist who specialized with people with eating disorders. This was years ago. And my first appointment, she showed me like food portions and like this is what a real size of a real serving of this is. She had like all these little like play food kind of So we went over that. We went over some basic requirements, basic needs. And I was expecting a diet because I was going to a nutritionist, and I came from diet mentality because that's our society. And she said, "Do you have a membership at like a, like a Sam's Club or Costco or something?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said, "Okay, well, I want you to go and I want you to buy a box or two or three of your favorite candy bars." And I was like, "Okay." Like, interesting. Why? And she's like, "Well, I want you to get a box like you would, like the kind that you get at the store, like that has a bunch of candy bars in them. Get a couple of boxes of your favorite ones, and then I want you to eat one, at least one. You can have as many as you want, but you need to eat at least one every single day." And I was like, "Okay, that sounds great to me. I'm going to do that." And I was, on the one hand, like terrified of buying boxes of candy bars when I was trying to stop binging. And on the other hand, I was like, you know, I had this relief that this medical professional had given me permission to just go ham on candy bars. And at this point in time, I was at my heaviest, which happened after I married my first husband, who was abusive. And so he was mentally and financially abusive. And so I would just like eat myself into oblivion. And so I go and we get the candy bars. My ex-husband is like not understanding at all why we're buying boxes of candy bars. And I start the process. And then the most incredible thing happens, which is that within a few days, there's a day that happens. My son was little at the time. I was, doing parenting, doing all my things. I had started playing music again. I was working on a piece of music. I worked on that all day. And then it got towards the end of the night. I went into the bathroom, brushed my teeth before bed, and then was like, "Oh shit, I didn't have a candy bar." And had a moment of being like, "Am I supposed to eat one?" And then I realized, no, I'm not. I was supposed to have a day where I didn't think about the candy bar all day because I was allowed to have it. And it was like, duh, like, oh, if I restrict it, all I want is the thing that I don't have. And if I have plenty of access to it and I'm safe and it's there for me, then I'm not obsessing about it. I'm not thinking about it constantly because it's there if I want it. It's there. And the thing that I was always trying to feed when I was going to the store and buying 10 candy bars and eating them all at once and then hiding the wrappers, that void I was trying to feed, it's like that was never satiated by those things, but only by the shame, because I felt shame associated with it. And it was this it had this control over me. But now that it's permissible and it's not forbidden and it's not shameful and I can't punish myself that way and I have access to it and I'm not punishing myself by restricting, now it has no power over me. And that was a very, very, very helpful. And it's a lesson I've had to constantly learn because I've done, diet mentality does not go away in our society. Like, no matter how much, health at every size and I feel comfortable in my body that you get, like, you're still trying to dial back tons of limiting beliefs about the self. So this is the same concept. If you try to restrict thoughts, just like restricting candy bars, all you're gonna do is be focused on them because because that is what you're programmed to do. So let yourself have the thoughts. Don't try to control them. But when you can, reach for a thought that makes you feel better or distracts you, right? In the scenario where I forgot about the candy bar, it's because I was writing music, which is a passion of mine, and I wasn't thinking about eating food when I was doing something I loved. Do the same thing with your thoughts. Luck is on your side. Wheel of Fortune. Luck is on your side at the moment. Take advantage of that luck. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. So you are in the process of upgrading, and I think you feel it. Like, I think you feel like you're getting the downloads, and you're like, I keep getting crown chakra stuff. Like, it's happening, right? Integration is happening. We're coming together. We're getting a new card from the Colette Baron Reed, the Spirit Animal Oracle. I have not gotten this one before. It is beautiful. Nightingale Spirit. Love is all around. In the darkness of night, Nightingale Spirit sings her song of love and hope, a harbinger of dawn to remind you that the sun will rise again soon. You are so loved, and the illumination song of the Nightingale Spirit calls you to a new level of self awareness and connection with the light. Yes, there is shadow and darkness, but love and prosperity exist everywhere, even in the seeming emptiness of space, darkness, and a starless night. Hearken to the message, letting the music of the Nightingale's song remind you that love is all around. Feel it and trust in tomorrow's light, renewing your ability to recognize that the spaces that appear empty are filled with love and abundance. Illumination will happen soon. I love this because you are comfortable in the space right now. You are comfortable in the silence, and I do feel you trusting that love is all around, and that silence that appears empty, it's actually filled with love and abundance, and the illumination that you seek will happen soon because you are accepting that the silence is something to be joyful and appreciative of. Divine Masculine, you're in the light traits of the dilettante, where you are delighting in the arts without having to be a professional and alert to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So you are not about to be superficial. You are all about foundation. It's foundation, being willing to build a foundation and do the things you need to do to build a foundation and heal and fully mourn something in that Four of Swords energy and fully heal, fully connect with the divine. That is an indication that you are absolutely not being superficial in your pursuits. You are also right now comfortable that you are also in a Page of Cups energy where you're like, girl, I don't know any better than you. I do not. Like, but I'm going to try anyway. I might not be a professional at this healthy relationship thing, but I'm going to take a stab at it because it's worth it to me and I want it. So that's the energy of Divine Masculine. Then we have your guardian angel here emphasizing stress management. Divine Masculine, it is difficult for you to remain silent when you want to bring this relationship into the light. It is difficult for you to be up against a silent divine feminine, if that is the case. So you are really needing to manage your stress, because your stress and your thoughts and your worries and anxieties, those will take you very quickly out of alignment. So manage that stress whatever way you need at this time. This week got you yesterday. And you know what? Okay, I will do my best to make the best of it. And you got two of these, and I can accept myself as a vibrational being. And so right now, a key to regaining your feeling of empowerment is to decide right now that no matter how good or how bad you are feeling, you're going to do your best to make the best of it. And if you do that again and again in a short period of time, you will find yourself in that good feeling place. So make the best of where you are right now. And once you begin to accept yourself as a vibrational being who attracts all things that come into your experience, once you understand the correlation between what you are thinking, feeling, and what you are receiving, you then hold the keys to get from wherever you are to wherever you want to be on all subjects. So if you can embrace that you are a vibrational being and decide right now that no matter how good or bad you are feeling, you're going to do the best you can make from it. These two powerful beliefs are going to help you in this moment managing that stress. You are the one who is creating your environment. So make the best of it and it will start to improve. You're getting this again. Balance the spirituality and the practicality. You feel it, you know it, you have an awareness of it, you have a spiritual belief system. You need to balance that spiritual belief, the spiritual beliefs, and the vibrational with the practical, by doing these practical things that will start to shift this union into the 3D. Your vibration is rising and you are the oracle. So right now you are able to, if you tune in to the vibrational being that you are able to get these messages or receive these pings from spirit that will tell you and indicate where you need to go. We've got lizard spirit. Dream the world into being. When was the last time you basked in the sun and allowed yourself to daydream, to imagine what might be and what you might become? Lizard spirit appears when you are called to let your imagination flow and dream something new. Inspiration is available to you now if you are willing to slow down and let your eyes close a little, allowing ideas to dance in your head. What might come into being if you were to pursue your dream? How might you grow and expand if you allowed your desire to yourself to dare to believe in the impossible, making it possible first in your dreaming mind and then in the world as you co-create with spirit? Give in to the power of imagination, and soon your dream will become clearer. The steps will reveal themselves, and what was ephemeral will begin to coalesce into form. Dream it and be it. Spirit asks you to dare to dream big. So I think divine masculine, that this lizard spirit energy is directly in response to the confusion you feel about what to do. You need to imagine this dream that you have, and the dream will become clearer, and then the steps will reveal themselves so you won't feel as confused about how to go forward. So just dream about what it is that you want and be in that joy and appreciation, and when you're there, then spirit can communicate directly with you and show you exactly what to do, how to strategize in that, with that information from spirit, so that you can be able to approach this divine feminine, because you're not sure how to approach her. Okay, final cards, bottom of the deck for the two of you, two aspects of self in this union. You are in the light attributes of the destroyer. You are releasing what is potentially destructive, and you are preparing for a new life. That is absolutely true. That is what you have been doing for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, walking away from things that don't serve you, dealing with that devil energy, which, by the way, we did not get today. So, really, really releasing destructive feelings, thoughts, ideas, and behaviors, and preparing for something new. Blessings of abundance. Your guardian angel is here to support you in receiving these blessings and bringing blessings for you for the work that you've done, rewarding you both for the hard work that you've been doing. And we're getting every reality has been focused by someone into being. You were taught to face reality before you knew you were creating reality. Do not face reality unless it is a reality you want to create. For any reality only exists because someone has focused it into being. Those statistics about your experiences and others, they are not about any hard and fast now reality. They are other people's reality. So, do not face reality, divine couple, unless it is the one you want to create. So don't, if you think like, oh, this kind of thing never happens because of XYZ, or during quarantine, this can't happen because of XYZ, or whatever. Just only face the reality that you want to create. Bring love into the situation. And there's that Aquarius season that we're entering. Bring love into the situation. The new moon in Aquarius. Just in case you weren't sure, yesterday you got Lemuria, and today you got Pleiades. These two cards always come up for the both of you. This is double mission, channeling, and uplifting humanity. So you are called on this double mission together to channel and uplift humanity. And then you are getting a repeating number card from the Animal Spirit Oracle. The Spirit Animal Oracle. Why don't I never say that right? White Raven Spirit, trust in the magic. So I've never ever gotten this card either. 2 new cards today. I love that. Nothing in the universe is random, for the intricate web of co creation weaves together all events and has done so since the beginning of time. Coincidences have meaning, and White Raven's spirit appears to remind you to pay attention to these synchronicities so that you might recognize patterns. Even the winds dance in a pattern, participating in the magic of Spirit's plan for all. Align with the highest good and intentions, and you will come to see that White Raven is guiding you, an ally to you, and a messenger from Spirit. Align with the light, and you will start to recognize that all is working together harmoniously in ways the eye can't always see and the mind can't always comprehend. The universe is conspiring on your behalf right now, drawing you to the light and bringing you the magic and miracles that are your birthright. Now is the time to trust in the magic of the world that is everywhere and in all the things. Pay attention to how things come together as if by magic, and you will see the hand of Great Spirit arranging things in your favor. Lovely and very true. And finally, we will close the reading with the goddess Hathor, who is back again. She was here recently. This is for our goddess practice. So, some point today, if you have time, make time. Put 2 hands over your heart, and for 15 minutes, repeat the mantra, "My heart is the heart of the goddess." And you can use any goddess energy or any divine feminine energy from any modality that works for you. But the idea is that we're honoring the goddess because we spend a lot of time honoring the god and the divine masculine, and we need to balance divine feminine energy inside of us. And this is all genders. This is about energy, not gender. So everyone will need to balance divine feminine energy. And if you are interested in learning about this goddess's energy, Hathor is a nourishing great mother goddess. She's the Egyptian mother of all gods and goddesses, usually portrayed as a cow. She is a sky goddess, the queen of the heavens. The sun emerges from her womb and the moon from her breast. She is the goddess of love, mirth, beauty, and sensual pleasure, as well as the protectress of all women. In her other guise, shown here, she is the Lady of the Night and Queen of the Underworld. With her lion's head, Hathor assumes the role of destroyer and giver of death. In her leopard skin, she is the goddess of fate and fortune and typifies the ferocity and swiftness of this animal. And night prowler and watcher. Hathor is a strong embodiment of the many sides of existence. Creator, sustainer, destroyer, she encompasses all. Hathor reminds us that we too must acknowledge all parts of ourselves, that what we might call destructive is sometimes necessary to allow our creativity and compassion to flourish. There's that destruction again. Alrighty. I hope you all have a nice day today. This was a very interesting and beautiful reading. I like the energy right now. I hate the sound of that freaking dump truck. I really need to move, which I'm going to do very soon. All right, everyone, take care. Have a lovely day today.